Working on a 2011 Ram 2500, having ignition switch problems. The key is not always starting the truck. There it goes. Have to really wiggle that key. So what we're gonna do is take out 2 screws down here, 1 and 2. I've already removed those. We're gonna pull the panel straight out and it's gonna come off, exposing the ignition switch, the wind module, which is this right here. It has 2 connectors on the back, which we're gonna unplug and remove that ignition switch out. Torque screws to do so are right here. Looks like just 1 connector back here, just depress and pull. Module is out. We're going to now separate these 2 halves by these clips using a small screwdriver. We're going to go pry here and here, and the same on the other side. And we're going to separate the 2 halves. I'm using multiple screwdrivers together, and there's actually tabs on the top and bottom. So there's actually a total of 5 tabs here. Get that to separate, and you'll have 2 halves. So there will be 5 pins that we need to desolder using a solder sucker and maybe some desoldering braid. All this solder sucker does is act as a vacuum plunger and suck the solder away from the joint. It's nothing high-techy. You can get them online for probably about $10. You got to heat up the terminal, and when it gets hot enough, when you see the solder melt, you suck it out. We'll do that on all 5 of these joints. And if you are having trouble doing it this way, you can also heat up the terminal and use this desoldering braid to heat up, and this solder will stick to the braid and move away from the connection. So even using the solder sucker and desoldering braid, it still is tight to come apart. What you have to do is pry away like this, pulling that way, pulling pressure at the same time as you are desoldering the joints. These ones are just hanging on by a thread. Same with these. They are mostly all the way out, but the solder on the back side is still hanging on. So that's why you need to pull the green circuit board away from the black housing as you are heating these joints, to get it to slowly pull away and work your way around here, a little bit at a time. You'll just be working in a somewhat circular motion, moving the board up a little bit more every time, pulling on the board, letting go of the soldering iron, letting the solder cool down, not let go of the board. It'll freeze in that position. Same thing, just moving in a circle. A little bit time consuming. And the solder does really hold on till the very end. So here are the contacts that we're going to be cleaning. We're also going to bend these up just a little bit to make a better contact on here, and we're going to clean this surface. So you're going to want to clean these contacts the best you can with like a rubbing alcohol, and then do the same thing with these fingers. And then you want to clean the solder off of these pins to help it go back together better. And then we'll slide the circuit board back over and resolder these pins to the board, reassemble the cap, and put it all back in.